أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى أهله الغر الميامين وعلى صحابته المتألفين بالدستور وعلى من استنى سنتهم وانتهج بمنهجهم ولف بلفهم إلى أن يرث الله الأرض ومن عليها وإلى الله عاقبة الأمور. All praise is indeed reserved for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wholeheartedly, without any element of exemption. He deserves our praise and thanks beyond our boundary. Allahu Akbar kabira. Wa in ta'uddu ni'mat Allah la tuhsuha. We can never ever exalt the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bountiful ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as such, we can never ever thank Him enough. We ask Him to continue to shower His blessings upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, members of his household, companions, and the generality of Muslims till the day of recompense. Ameen. Respected elders, brothers and sisters alike, today inshallah Kareem, the topic of our sermon, Ar-Ri'ayatu war-Ra'iyatu fil Islam. Ar-Ri'ayatu war-Ra'iyatu fil Islam. Leadership and followership in Islam. What is the concept? Allahu Akbar kabira. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it in a clear term. As Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam makes also in a clear term. Ar-Ri'aya war-Ra'iyya, leadership and followership. They are intertwined concepts. They go in pari passu. And there can never be leadership without followership. There can also not be followership without leadership. Two of them move in pari passu. And then Islam, kana mubinan jiddan. Islam is very clear when it comes to the duties and responsibilities of each and every one of them. Then, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it clear, the leadership in the concept of Islam, it is just not mere assuming a position of authority. No, it is embodied in a concept of amana. It is embodied in a concept of amana. Whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants the authority or gives the authority, that person has been given a very big amana. That trust, Allah shall never ever let go of it. In fact, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it clear for all of us, including those who are still aspiring and those who are doing, those who are planning, those who are scheming. No, before it is late. Leadership is not meant for everybody. But everybody wants to become a leader. Why? It is not meant for everybody. Prophet made it clear to Abu Dharr, Ya Abu Dharr, oh you Abu Dharr, Allahu Akbar kabira. This leadership that you are looking for, that you ask me to appoint you, Allahu Akbar kabira, innaha hiya amana. It is the trust from Allah, not from human beings. You might have voted, you might have campaigned, but wallahi, if Allah had not destined that somebody will become a leader, no single person can make him or her. Now, Prophet says, وَهِيَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةُ نَدَامَةٌ. On the day of Qiyamah, position of authority, assuming a position of leadership, nadama is going to be a regret for every single one of anybody who becomes leader in dunya. How? Either you did not do enough, it will become a regret. For those who did little, regret. For those who did plenty, regret. Why? There is no anyhow you can satisfy all the people that Allah SWT has put under your custody. Whereas they did not ask you. You came out to tell them that, put me there, I shall represent you. I shall be for you. I shall defend your interest. I shall protect you. I shall be, I shall that. Allahu Akbar kabira. When you look at leadership and followership, Allah makes, enumerates, outlines the rules and also responsibility and duties of everyone. For a leader, Allah made it clear, جَعَلْنَاكُمْ خَلَائِفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. You have come and we have given you this vicegerents, a position of authority on the surface of earth. We put many people under your custody. لِنَنْظُرَ كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. We are there watching you. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. لِنَنْظُرَ كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. We shall see how you finish, how you start, what you do, what you refuse to do. From the first day of swearing in to the last day. Wallahi al-azim. لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. Allah would ask from the leaders. And he says also, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 59, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also made it clear. Just the way in Surah 2 and Nisa, verse 59, Allah made it clear when it comes to the duties and responsibilities of the led, the followers. For the leaders, Surah 2 Al-Imran, قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ تُؤْتِي الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. No one will ever become a leader except with the permissibility of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yet, Allah did not just make it like that. They shall be called upon on the day of Qiyamah, one after the other, and nobody will represent anybody. وَمَا هُمْ عَنْهَا بِغَائِبِينَ. Many people may be sitting within the corridors of power. Sometimes they carry 20 files for one purpose. This one represents this one represents that. The one that represents the masses will never get to the table of the president. But the president should also ask, where are those files that represent the masses? Because without those masses, many people will not vote. Among the movers and shakers, how many of them do vote? It is expected of a leader or a good leader, as far as Islam is concerned, number one, to be Sama'ah. Somebody will listen. Somebody will listen. That was the predicament that Pharaoh faced. He said to his cabinet, Inna urikum ma ara, Allahu Akbar, ma urikum illa ma ara. You will not tell me anything I will take except that which I tell you, because I see what you do not see. Meaning, he thought was an alpha and omega. Nobody can think better than himself. Nobody can present or advise better than his own wisdom. Allahu Akbar kabiro. Whosoever, either president, either a governor or minister, or you and I, within the corner of power, or even in our household, when you see that you are an alpha and omega, wallahi, that is the beginning of downfall. But the only alpha and omega is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took little of that and gave to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? That was why Prophet said, Allah told about Prophet Sallam, "Man yuti'ir rasula faqad ata'a Allah." Whoever follows Prophet Sallam, the person has already followed Allah. Meaning, Prophet Sallam will not bring anything except that which is permitted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that permissibility is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he is the only one Allah allows to speak on his behalf. Nobody will speak on Allah's behalf except that you refer that thing to Allah. Call Allah. I'll call a Rasul. The Prophet ﷺ can talk and it's an authority because Allah gives him that authority. But every other human being, if you see yourself as Alpha and Omega, you are the thinker or tank thinker, you are this and that, then that's the point towards the downfall of that person. Number two, for a good leader is that shawurun fil amr. Not only that, you give and you listen. Shawurun fil amr. Sometimes you present things and you ask for people's opinion. And then you try to juxtapose, judge it with available means and the reality. Then you pick your whatever decision, inshallah, guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number three, they are to be lenient and merciful. Lenient and merciful. How? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَظًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ. Look at it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Prophet to be lenient. Because lenience is what will attract people to get closer to you. Lenience will make people to be able to tell you. Sometimes, some people, they have observed, even about yourself, about myself. But because you did not give a room for anybody to advise you, and people will be following you until you stumble, until you have any problem. And they say, oh, Mister, why didn't you tell me? He had never listened. Sometimes, even before you say a word, bureaucracy, before you finish, he had fired the person. That's not a trait of good leader. Now, lint alone, you are to show compassion. It's expected of a leader. Any leader, whomsoever, including you and I, will only point accusing finger And because of the current reality, some are worse than Pharaoh in the little capacity Allah has put them. Some are worse than Pharaoh. Some are worse than Pharaoh. The only thing they do only what the wise say. Some is worse, only whatever the girlfriend says. But in the concept of Sharia, a good leader must listen, must also be compassionate. If you are not compassionate, you will not think of others that are not having food. And that is an element that is going today, eroding from our leaders. Some see the position of authorities, even if it is 8 years. Senagama, we tend to forget that many people, when the position was called position, when the authority was actually celebrated, they had used the same authority as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always in the Quran, making reference to Pharaoh for us to know our boundary. Pharaoh controlled the dunya of his time. We are only controlling a state or country. Pharaoh controlled the dunya of his time. Nobody else could raise his head to challenge Pharaoh during his time. In terms of arsenal, in terms of this, in terms of that, today we do not have up to the little 1/3 of what Allah gave to Pharaoh. If you are talking of missiles, Allah gave to Pharaoh without even technology of what we are celebrating today. Yet, with everything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept him and said, Inna Fir'auna ala fil ard. He was much celebrated on earth, but one day Allah brought him down, and that was end. Up to today, no burial ground. He's still lying down in the same state, in the same country, where he was an Alpha and Omega. People are going to see, is he the head of Pharaoh? Allahu Akbar Kabir. There shall come a time, whether by force or by whatever, all of us will return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But individually and collectively, Allah shall ask every single one of us. That's one, the issue of leadership. Now, part of it, as we are saying, is that a leader should assemble, surround himself with people of the same thoughts. Anybody, you see, because if it's a personal business venture, you put people that have the same business mindset, those who will help you to actualize the goals of that business. But in a case, because you want to satisfy, or people cannot do anything just because of autocracy, or because of nepotism, or because of whatsoever, if it is not clearer to the masses, it is glaring before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some, they put people in the position of authority, they bought it. And that is why people will shout and say, no, say Nagama. But remember one day, you may end up there, you may not finish, but the one that is certain is that this dunya, one day, your name is gonna. There's nothing you can do. You cannot dodge that. Now, for the followership is as significant as leadership. Two of them are there to accomplish each other, especially followership, how to obey as far as Islam is concerned. Allah says in Surah An-Nisa, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, ati'u Allah, wa ati'u Rasul, wa ulil amri minkum. All who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obey Allah, obey His messenger, Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wa ulil amri minkum, and the people of authority among yourselves. Allah says, wa in tanaza'tum fi shay' farudduhu ila Allah wa Rasul. If there is any agreement or disagreement over a particular thing, we agree, we no go agree, farudduhu ila Allah. Refer back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa Rasul, and His messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you do that, you have a way out. You have a way out. Then what are those ways out? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala outlined in the Quran and Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For us to know, number one, la dakhala lil muzahara fil Islam. Under whatever disguise, Islam does not permit al muzahara, protest. We no go agree. We no go agree. We have to go on the street. We have to do this and that. Go back from the early stage of Islam till today. There has never been any time a protest yielded any positive results. There has never been any time. Some people may argue, and when we are saying Islam, this and that, are they also using constitution of Islam? Yes, they are not using. Yes, we are not using. Even though the better people of Allah, after the demise of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they had their own fair share of violence as a result of protests. In the history of Islam, what led to the assassination of Uthman ibn Affan was protests. And Uthman bin Affan, the third in command after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the yearnings and aspirations that no, we must get things right beyond what they are taught. Eventually, after the assassination of Uthman bin Affan, did they get it right? It came from worse to worse. Then he marched Ali bin Abi Talib and Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. Muslims never enjoyed any peace. Then there's nothing you can bring about autocracy, democracy. No, everything. Ma qala Allah wa ma qala Rasul. Because they refuse to obey the call of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They blame themselves. Uthman bin Affan was killed. Now people will say, okay, now we will not get government. We will not be very okay. We will not do this. We will not do that. Not knowing that even Uthman bin Affan was better than all of them. The protesters and the protesters. The sponsors and everybody, because there cannot be any change from Allah until you bring that change to the table. Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan, Ali bin Abi Talib, it became more of war. After all, some supported Ali bin Abi Talib. Those who supported him, the Muslims declared La ilaha illallah. Those supported Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan, La ilaha illallah. At the end of the day, that led to the emergence of another group, the sect we are seeing today. And eventually, what happened? That is why you cannot find the cover of Ali bin Abi Talib in Mecca or Medina. He had to move the seat of Khilafah, the powerhouse, from there to Baghdad. At the end of the day, the people of Baghdad, did they get better? They didn't. Those who remained in Medina, they get better? They didn't, because they have to change that tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu. Allah was addressing them, and by extension to all of us, La takhunu Allah. Never you betray Allah. They betrayed Allah. Wa Rasul. Never you betray Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They betrayed Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was why we now have Shiite. When Prophet sallallahu was alive, there was nothing like Shiite. Mu'tazilite, Khawarij. You now have them. Prophet made mention of all this because of their own inability to sustain the temple after Prophet, and then they refuse to heed to his words and advice. Now, leave that apart. Come down to our own centuries. The whole world. When you talk, some people will say, no, in America, in this country, in that country, they are living better, and they are not using Sharia. Then what happened? Because when Allah addresses all of us about that which will bring peace, He says, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah did not say, I will not change the situation of Muslimun or Mu'minun. No, bi qawmin, generality of people, mankind. I will not change the travail. I will not change their agony for better. I will not change their ineffectiveness for effectiveness. I will not change their worst hope to be until they are ready for change. What are they doing that we are not doing? We all know. Even Joe Biden as a sitting president, what he has in his account, he cannot siphon the treasury as much as a local government chairman or a minister or a governor will siphon in African country and Nigeria. Then what do you expect? Whatsoever they have, they invested in their own country. We would try to damage our own. All in the name of what? We are trying to celebrate. If Nigerians as a government cannot give a refinery, one of the three that have been pumping money to refine, no one is working up to now. No one individual from among ourselves, we're trying to do something. A lot of, subhanallah, frustration today, tomorrow, up to the extent that they even pushed him to become a malam. Said on the day of Qiyamah, Allah will ask those of them who tried in Nigeria to establish something that now go to Al-Jannah because we cannot be punished twice. Sheikh Ja'far Mahmoud Adam, may Allah grant him Al-Jannah to Firdaus. He made mention of this when he was alive. Yeah, sir. I checked in Nigeria, Talakas in Nigeria, on the day of Qiyamah, that Allah should even pardon them to go to Al-Jannah because of the travel, words of agony they faced in this dunya in Nigeria. So government's insensitivity, I don't care attitude, it is ravaging. Now it has led us to where we are today. One single person is not to blame. That is where people are getting it wrong. Kama takunu yuwalla alaykum. As we made mention of America, they don't pay, but they don't siphon the treasury. And if anybody does, they bring the person to book. In China, you are leaving this dunya. Once you pass the treasury, why can we not do it in Nigeria?
because movers and shakers are either in the masjid or in the church. That is just the blatant truth. And when you review the successive governments, there's no anybody who has served from Toronto or from Zimbabwe or from wherever. They are all Nigerians. But people do not have sympathy, neither do they have empathy for the masses. And that is what we are paying back to today. That is what we are paying back. The insensitivity. Everybody knows we are in a state of quagmire. Hunger. Everything has gone up in the market. Who are the marketers? Are they from Cameroon? Nigeria. Who are the regulators? Nigeria. Who are the ones who are passing the budget? Nigerians. Those who are signing it? Nigerians. But when it comes to a particular matter, all the attention will be shifted. The attention now today on this planned protest, why can't we shift at least 50% on it, on banditry? We would have forgotten about it. And every year money is being budgeted, Allahu Akbar, and released. But the leaders don't care. You tell the masses, please be patient. Be patient. And everything is going not well on social media. At this day, there's an era of analog that people don't even have anything to see. They don't know. But today, as you are doing something within the corridors of your room, people are seeing it. A Muslim brother will go and buy an SUV of millions of naira to give to a daughter who just graduated from secondary school. A Muslim brother. That the community, that money will have been something that can help that community in a very better way. Okay, when she finishes from university, what are you going to present? We are so insensitive to the plight of the masses. Insensitive. If you buy that car of that enormous amount of money for somebody who just finished secondary school, a car that even the principal of that school cannot ride, what do you expect from that lady when she gets to the university? Who does she respect? Who will come to her as a sweetheart that I want to marry, except go be digger? Then what are you telling her? When she graduates eventually, well, if she cannot get work in NNPC and whatever, then she will not work. Because you have already exposed her to something that is not in any way. She doesn't need it. She doesn't need it. That is just one example of millions. We made mention in our last episode about the parenthood in Islam. We damage ourselves by a way of extravagant spending. And this is what has also led the president and the state, the country to where we are today, right from yesteryears. Yesteryears. People are still having their fights with the FCC. Then government is not sincere. We have said this repeat and again. How can you be sincere? You can introduce what you call something out of court settlement and you negotiate. Somebody stole 20 billion and you said, okay, what can you reform? What can you reform of whose money? That means the government is not serious. They don't do that in Saudi. Else they have peace. And the government is also trying to give to the plight of the masses. But here, we said, masses, go and be patient. Go and be patient. But today, we are buying aircraft of how many billion? Whereas somebody also picked Nigeria and handicap and defrauded the country by going to Ethiopia to bring Ethiopia airline here. Under the disguise of Nigeria here, nothing happens. And we said, we'll continue to Hakura. But one day, wallahi al-azim, on the day of Qiyamah, la tus'alunna yawmaydin. And Allah will not let go of you and I, including all of us. Why including all of us? A lot of those who are not within the context of power, but they are with them, some will get contract, and they told us from day one, this contract is not meant for execution. We use it every year to bring money out. And you as a Muslim, we also collected it. And he said, Allah will not agree. You are a part of those who caused the problem. They will sign so billions of naira. And he said, percentage A for this, percentage B for this, you to carry the remaining one. He said, but there's nothing left to do the work. Who asked you to do the work in the first place? The person who signed is a Muslim. The one that received is a Muslim. The one Alpha and Omega, they will put something in his account is a Muslim. And he said, you no go agree. Plan protest. Wallahi la'adin, no protest will bring any change. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. For you to know that protest cannot bring anything. See what is happening today in Kenya. We no go agree, we no go agree. They fought, they did everything. They all set the power there and they brought another person. Yet, Kenya is not better in any way. Go to Sudan. Sudan is life between life and death. Two generals, two of them are Muslims. They wage the war on the masses. At the end of the day, no victor, no vanquish. At the end of the day, Sudan is not any way better. Go to Libya. When they were having everything on a platter of gold, external forces came and told them, don't agree for Gaddafi. Is it no? We no go agree, we no go agree. At the end of the day, Gaddafi is back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is Libya better today? Wallahi, is worse than when Gaddafi was alive. In Sharia, everything, anything whatsoever, and you go out there that you cannot control, you don't know what comes later, you cannot have now. Allahu Akbar. Allah wants all of us to rule. And many verses of the Quran, just take one. What take fitna? La tusibanna alladhina zalamu minkum khassa. Beware of agony. Beware of calamity. Beware of calamity. That once it is strifed, then people will go out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, La tusibanna alladhina zalamu minkum khassa. Not those who ignored, who suffered it, who caused it, are not going to be only one that will be consumed. It will consume everybody. To consume everybody. Go and see video clips of Sudan. Somebody have his filling station, he has this company, everything, under this guy that the government was not good. Now everything is being burnt down. Now when is government going to be good? As we say this, to that's the tension to tell ourselves the truth, we also remind the government. Not only in this dunya, at some point when you get to 40 and above, get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't start transaction when you know that perhaps, in fact, you don't need anybody to tell you. Once you talk, now Allah is giving you up to 60, up to 70. What are you amassing again? Alhaakum at-takathur hatta zurtum al-maqabir. Wallahi al-azim, Nigeria can be better. Wallahi al-azim, Nigeria can be better. May Allah make it better. How do we get it better? 4 things. If you like, take. If you like, do not take. Write today's date. And then, SSS are all over. He says, no, don't go. Don't be part of any protest. Wallahi al-azim, it will not yield any good result. The first thing we need to do, the first thing, as-sabr wal-masabara. Sabr, patience. We have been saying this. Wallahi, we continue to say it till Yawm al-Qiyamah because Allah has now abrogated that verse from the Quran, the chapter, wal-asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Allah said, verily, mankind is set of loss, quagmire, agony, sorrow. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Except those who believe in Allah and they also do righteous deeds. Wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. They enjoy one another bil haqq, upon truthfulness. Wa tawasaw bis sabr, and they enjoy one another upon patience. That tells my patience. When you continue to be patient and you do your own, the leaders refuse to do their own, then all of us before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will stand. And you say, patience, there's no how. If we say protest cannot bring anything useful or fruitful, then the sabr, patience is the way. That's from Quran. Number two, الرجوع واللجوء إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى من الرعية والرعية. الرعاية والرعية. الرجوع إلى الله ثم بتغيير الأحوال والتصرفات. All of us, the leaders and the left, we must go back to Allah and then start from the drawing board. As a country, Nigeria, put it on the table. Where did you get it wrong? We're now trying to put damage control. How? Do price control. How? We have made mistakes about the removal of subsidy. We are told that it's being paid again. Why removing it in the first place if it will not go to bring anything good? Now, if somebody is trying to do something, if there are problems, let Nigerians know. When they face that somebody is trying to do is for one man and he said it's a substandard product, where is your own that is standard? I've never in my life met with Dangote. Wallahi, face to face. What are you give? What can you give? Okay, give me life that you assure me that I will not die till 100 years to come. Can you guarantee yourself? Then when people go social media and say, this and that, like this alone, what is it? And in him, Allah would ask, I've never seen him. But if somebody is trying, you are frustrating him. How do you expect others to come from abroad to come and invest in Nigeria? When you are one of yours. If there's problem, you try to manage the problem, not in a way that things are going away, things are going abnormally, you are now bringing another frustration. Billions of dollars have been spent. We don't know, but that's what they said. But now to say this one is substandard, this one is this and that, where is your own? Has it been your own has been standard all these years? If perhaps matter, we have to go back to Allah and have attitudinal change. The leaders and the led. How do we change? We need to go back to Allah. Those who even claim not to be in the book of Allah, in that what is there, Allah has given us a way out. Qul ta'alaw atlu ma harrama rabbuka alaykum. Call those people to whom scripture of Allah has been given. Then bring it out. What is in the Quran? There is no anywhere in the Bible, either Old Testament or New Testament, that you should pack people's money. There's no anywhere. There's no anywhere. So one cannot say he's only Muslim. No. Since Allah created heavens and earth, He made mention. Allah SWT is always for justice. Let us change our attitude. The government should change the attitude. Part of what we change that will make us to have a way forward and solution. Government itself needs to cut down excesses, extravagant spending, and individuals too, as we made mention. Government may be doing individuals. There was a video clip, I saw it not once, not twice, in a market in one of our states, a Muslim-dominated area. A woman in a particular market reduces her own price of garri, and other women in the market, they descended on her. How dare you reduce the price, this and that? And she said, even with this price I've reduced, I'm still making gain. You still make gain. But everybody will say, this one, the American, this one and that. In that corridor, do you expect the president to be parading around? But they should start from the above. Price control. Cut unnecessary spending. Unnecessary spending. We will say it again. Unnecessary spending. An individual, as you have made mention, or somebody buying an SUV for a daughter of secondary school is a misplaced priority. Misplaced priority. The government should cut down this. And then our state governors, what they were getting during the Baba Buhari's regime, they are getting more than that now, but we are seeing nothing on the surface of earth. What is happening? What is happening? We need to cut the excesses. Then, number 3 that we need to do as an ummah, the government will take lead, is that don't do this issue of plea bargaining. Plea bargaining can never ever bring any solution, but more rotting, more stealing, more treasury packing. If somebody sees that one person stole 50 billion, eventually after appearing in the court twice, the third one, everybody will be sick. The lawyer of that person will be sick. The person also come with something, bandage on his neck. But when he was packing the money, he was healthy, going to Dubai. But once the money is packed, you become sick in front of Alkali. And Alkali too will become sick because some communication will be made. Then the lawyer will become sick. And all these are the expense of Nigerians. Or you remove anything called plea bargain. Then go to National Assembly. They should legislate a law. Anybody who packs the money, let's go to Sharia. If you do it, wallahi al-adim, you see sanity. If you refuse to change, Allah will not change the situation. That the Jews will call Quran. We will still continue to do. But Allah is giving you a way forward. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. So we have to change some things in that law that permit people, that legalizes fraud. When somebody stole a goat, they will pick him and put him in Kuje prison. But somebody has packed this and that and that, they only say, okay, when is the next hearing? Once they fix the date, then we send something from the hospital that the man is not well. Okay, lawyer will come. Lawyer, I plead for another day. At the end of the day, for another day, what happens? Okay, let's adjourn the case. We adjourn it in dunya. Wallahu al-azim. Alaysa Allah bi ahkamil hakimin. Allah will review it on the day of Qiyamah. Respected elders, brothers and sisters alike, like the one we said. Then, lastly, how do we get it? As we made mention from the beginning, protest is not the way. It can never bring any solution. Then, all the leaders across all parties, wallahi al-azim, we have seen in the past, and with that, you cannot see their own children on the street. The past leaders, the present ones, you cannot see their own children on the street. Then, why our own brothers will now be used as scapegoats? We should talk to ourselves, and then we should help ourselves. As we do, government does, to crash the price, to review the subsidy, to do everything expected of them to make life not miserable but meaningful for the masses. They should do. And if they do, then individually, You pay zakat where you are expected to pay zakat. You cannot pay zakat, you don't have up to that. Help those who are around you. Don't live a life of only me. Once I eat, I don't give a damn. No. By the time we put all this together, inshallah Kareem, Allah is not a wicked Allah. Once we go back to Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ready for us. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. The condition is that فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي. What is istijab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now? Go back. Ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. You have to change and then put things in order. Then the last one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now Muhammad our ibadah, collect our dua, and then make things in. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turn around the fortunes of Nigeria. May Allah bring sustainable peace and tranquility. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never ever allow shaitan will use human in the flesh of shaitan and shaitan in the flesh of human beings to upturn the country or to put country in infamy. May Allah bring sustainable peace and tranquility. As Prophet sallallahu prayed for Mecca and Medina, especially Medina, Prophet sallallahu prayed for their saw, even muddu, the scale, what they used to measure grains. Prophet sallallahu prayed for it. Prophet sallallahu prayed for their governors. Prophet sallallahu prayed for everything. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take from that prayer Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and bring to us in Nigeria. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Barakallahu wa lakum fi al-Qur'an al-azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum fi al-ayati wa dhikril hakim. Aqulu ma tasma'un sawaban fa min Allah wa in khata fa min nafsi wa shaytan wa astaghfirullaha li wa lakum wa li sa'iril muslimina min kulli dhanbin wa khati'a innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. الحمد لله مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله خير مثال للرعاية المثل الأعلى رعاية الخالدة الرصدة الإسلامية صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله كواكب الهداية وأصحابه جواهر العناية وكل من سار على نهجه إلى قيام الساعة. معاشر المسلمين، إن الإسلام مبين جدا على حقوق الرعاية على الرعية وعلى حقوق الرعية على الرعاية، وبالعكس إذا قام كل من الفريقين بهذه الحقوق والواجبات بإذن الله إن شاء الله الكريم يكون في عيش رغدا ومعيشة هنيئة وجنة في الدنيا. وإذا لم يقم أحد الفريقين بواجباتها وبالأخص خصيصا الرئاسة رجال الحكومة إذا عدموا وعندوا وتعبوا وعاندوا ولم يقوموا بواجباتهم نحو الرعية تكون فتنة في الأرض وفساد كبير، وتلك تكون ضجة كبرى وصغرى معا، وكذلك قد يؤدي هذا الانقلاب إلى شيء لا نريد. وفي الإسلام لا دخل للمظاهرة، في الإسلام لا دخل للمظاهرة، لأن المظاهرة أبدا لن تأتي بأي أمن وأمان، ولن تتحقق بالمظاهرة عيشة الرغد إلا ضيق معيشة وعنصرية ثم عنيرة في المعيشة. وإذا قام أحد الفريقين وقام كلا الفريقين يكون عايش رغدا. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يأخذ بأفئدة رجالنا ورجال والرعية إلى ما في صلاح العباد والعباد برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله، لا بد أن نجتنب كل الاجتناب ونبتعد كل الابتعاد عن المظاهرة. المظاهرة ليس في صلاحيتنا، ولن نجد أي شيء غير إلا الفتنة، السرقة، إحراق المباني وما وهكذا وهلم جرى. عباد الله، نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يعيد الأمن والأمان في نيجيريا ويديم علينا نصره العزيز حتى نعيش عيشة هنيئة مريئة ونكون في الفردوس الأعلى. عباد الله، إن الله أمركم أمرا بدأ فيه بنفسه وثنى بملائكته وحملة عرشه وثلث بكم من إنس وجن وقال هو من قائل إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وسلم. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي
يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر كيد أعداء الدين وانصر عبادك الموحدين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم جد الأمن والأمان في نيجيريا واجعلها بلدا آمنا مطمئنا رخاء سكاها وسائر بلاد المسلمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم اسكننا جنة الفردوس والأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. قوموا إلى صلاتكم رحمكم الله.